So here is where I throw, well, figurative caution to the wind, because a lot of things happened before this recording, and so now I'm just recording this now. And the title of the video is the title of the video. I'm going to be testing out the character mostly. There are still some touch-ups that I need to do, on top of adding status effects, but while we get into Katak World of Horror character exclusive custom character once more, and I do want to go over more, but I need to decide on things because the other reason why I'm throwing caution to the wind is because you might hear a certain sound during the recording, and that there was the sound, and Knowledge, Charisma, Light, Takshi-san, Second Encounter, and maybe Second Mystery, because, yeah, a lot of things happen in real life, and a lot of things happen for this channel as well, on top of just the previous recording I did, just being an absolute bust, so that's that. But if you can ignore that and we move on, and if we can't, then just know I'm trying to fix things at current. Then yeah, this character starts with Mend and Unrelenting. You'll notice that I've played this character before. That's because, well, obviously I've done a lot more now than I did graphics-wise. But then I also changed the spell, because this character used to have Binding Agony. Apparently there's a bug with it that I found where you're not getting the right damage reduction. I swear I've seen it, but I don't want to take the risk if I've seen it once, even if it might not be true. I don't want to take any risks. Bulletin, Metamorphosis, Eels, Arms Festival. So we'll take Kana here. And yeah, it'll happen because basically need to replace the batteries again, but I might need to look into it. The serious version, kind of, is that hopefully nothing bad happens. But other than that, we're gonna keep moving on, and in my fluster to get everything started, as I have to do this and flash my face with the message, because this happens when you are in Eels and you do a side location, or an action, or sub-location, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, that's not good. We're also gonna sit here, and I'll return to the game, because that's all I really need to say outside of the game. This character starts off with High Perception, and I think the purpose was to make use of Army Knife, for sure. I should have actually sold the win bet. But maybe want to just throw this instead. Actually, yeah, it's better to throw this instead. We'll get a concussion for it, but we should be able to get out in 2 turns. But the Army Knife, as you can see, we can perfectly prep attack, even on Harbinger. On non-Harbinger, you get 10 Perception. I didn't want to go any higher, though, because I didn't want to already give that on top of Katana. For those who don't know, when you run into a certain otherworldly event, one of the choices grants you a chance at getting a Katana, and it's based off perception. So characters with high perception, if they run into this event, granted it is a thing, also Metamorphosis, so we're going to set the patrols to Seaside. But yeah, when you're going for the Katana, it is arguably, I wouldn't even say arguably, it's the best weapon in the game because of how much damage it does per prep strong, so you can just face tank damage and deal, I think it was like 14 damage, which is more than most enemies can take in 2 turns. And if you can 2-turn most enemies, especially on Harbinger and certain bosses, then yeah, that's a very good thing. So I might as well keep talking. We're going to be sitting here for a while. But normally you can also stick with the Army Knife. Now, if you don't have the Illegal Den unlocked, and I think, is the Army Knife an unlockable? Basically, a high perception character that does not have a firearm is not going to go well. And this character doesn't have firearm perks either. So that's, you want to go for a perception weapon, and the only, I think is there another melee perception weapon? I thought Army Knife was the only one. This goes to show how much I don't play with Army Knife. But on the flip side of that, or moving into the next topic, as we have Eyes Wide Open and the default attire, is that the character also has Unrelenting. That's to kind of help with Mend, but it's a good kind of not too powerful, but okay safety net of, hey, here's something that does help out. If you manage to get to 15 or keep yourself at 14-ish stamina, you have a much more healthier pool. And if you're on an easier difficulty, it kind of doesn't matter. And I think this still affects you. So there are some bugs. Mend and, by extension, Binding Agony are not supposed to be spells you can get in-game. So just remember that as we are going through. I'm also trying to, you might hear mic stuff because I'm trying to adjust things. I was doing a lot. I basically failed one recording already. Let's just say it outright. But yeah, those 2 spells, but I think it's still funny enough. It doesn't cause any crashes as far as I know. And the testing that I have done, because I've played this character a few times in between the last video. It might have been like 2 months ago, more than that. But you get what I mean. Mend is less bug prone than Binding Agony. Again, the reason why Binding Agony, I am not deciding to give you that spell with this character is because it sometimes, I swear it doesn't apply its damage mitigation, and I'm pretty sure I didn't have Paranoia or Suicidal, for those who don't know. Those curses proc HP damage if you take stamina. So if you, or stamina or reason. So one makes you take stamina damage if you, on a chance of, when you lose reason, on a proc chance, and the other one, you lose reason, there's a chance of losing reason when you lose stamina. So that's what I mean. And I swear I didn't have any of those perks as I you know, was fighting what I was fighting. And I should be testing it more extensively. It would be a fun perk to play with, but again, if that's already, and moving forward, I don't want any more. Mend is pretty straightforward in what it does, so it's less bug prone, if that makes any sense. I should throw this baseball bat, by the way. And just to save an extra point of stamina. But yeah, that's why I am now, you know, Unrelenting I don't think is that far-fetched from what this character can do in terms of what I, you know, what I gave in the lore. Also, I don't remember my second encounter. I am all over myself because there was a bunch of things that happened recently, so I am a bit nervous. Also, there are things that I should have been doing, but I didn't do. I want to release some videos. I don't get to. I should actually reroll this, but since we have Perception here, sure. Those two together give you a lot of an easier time brace attacking. Again, for a character with low strength, brace is, you want at least 5 strength, but if you can't get that, 4 or 3, I think, are the absolute minimum, if I recall, because otherwise you can't brace into kick anymore, and that, by far, I think is the worst possibility. But this character's stat spread isn't too insane, and I consider Perception a very weak stat right now. I'll change it if need be in the future when we get an actual good Perception, or a much more reliable, I wouldn't even say much more reliable, because if that's the case, then to some extent, as we look for a warehouse job, the Monkey Wrench would not be reliable, but it's definitely worth even re-rolling 2 or 3 times. Now, would I like to re-roll 2 or 3 times as I fail to grab a pack of cigarettes? No, but that's just how, what was I saying? Buying an item. Basically, buying an item is RNG-based to some extent. There's no going around it, but if I say that getting a good perception, or getting the army knife in the illegal den is a bad choice, I guess the part about that is that in the hardware store, if you don't get the monkey wrench and you don't want to reroll anymore, you could go for, there are a lot of other strength items that appear there that you can pick up as a replacement. I would use shovel when pressed, but heck, I use crowbar, but I think shovel is better than crowbar in my opinion. But part of that is that I like using cigarettes in game, so it kind of makes sense, I think. I'll roll into 60% because either way I get to 2-turn. Just a little quick math advice. I wouldn't say lesson, advice here. Because next turn I could just prep attack. Anyway, again, a very powerful part of Perception characters who use melee weapons. And to wrap that all the way around as I get into this boss fight with 4 stamina for reason, I hope at least what I'm saying in video makes up for the sounds that are happening in real life. Again, basically, you know, things are happening, and there's not much else I can do about it. So with the brick, I should be able to 2-turn this encounter. The army knife has the advantage that for those who don't know, again, those who don't know the monkey wrench on a prep strong does 7 damage, so does the army knife, and therefore what happens here, as I said in my, I think the battle tutorial video, that results in this doing 50... Oh, never mind. I didn't throw the brick. I'll do another run. But basically, you got what I mean. I did 15 damage there because even though my strong attack is 7, what actually happens is that your base damage is 5. Your strong attack is actually 7.5. This is my theory. I haven't confirmed this because I haven't confirmed it. But we'll do another attack run. And therefore, 7.5 times 2 is actually a perfect 15.0 damage. So that is why you get that. However, I'm not going to go with anything else, so if I don't get the armor knife, the advantages are the advantages. You get a very high chance of getting the katana, even on Harbinger, and you do not have a chance of, and you can use the armor knife, Harmony knife. However, you can't use any other perception weapons because by far they're all pretty bad. You know what? I will end this video on a death if Scissors is timeline A here. And as I get into that, yeah, so on a tangent note, even for characters with higher strength, this adds quite a bit of RNG. Now, we're on timeline B. If we were on timeline A, this would be full RNG, in my opinion. But since we're on B, we can bow clap, and then clap 3 times afterward. I was figuring out how to say what I wanted to say. And get out. However, the wooden bat is the best weapon, so we're going to work with this balancing act that is, hey, we have a terrible weapon, but at least Scissors doesn't result in, I think this nope, that's dexterity. I'm going crazy. At least my doom increase is going to be relatively low. Now, this seems to be a max threat level location, so I take that back somewhat. I should have actually, this is actually the worst kind of, well, not the worst. It's a pretty bad configuration of, or situation. Max threat level school, and you take Scissors first in your run because of the doom that you could have actually avoided if you had set the police station. You save on doom, basically. You save on quite a bit of doom. Not quite, well, a bit of doom, but any number, you know, differences in values of 1 or 2 in this game can mean a lot. I will stand by that. For now, anyway. Because, again, anything could change in the future. Bow, clap, bow, bow, clap is our ritual, if I can recall that. We did not fight a single enemy, but yeah, that's fine. You notice that I have not used Mend yet. Mend is more an emergency spell. Again, that's why it's not, you know, the strongest spell, but at the same time, it is handy in a pinch because most other spells don't see as much use. What did I have again? I completely forgot. I had Metamorphosis. I think I had Metamorphosis, right? So I'm just going to set the mansion just to be safe. I don't want to enter the police station again if possible, but oh, also right, I didn't grab a weapon yet. Well, the threat level increased on the school anyway, so good thing I did not put the thing there. We have 2 wooden bats, but really what we're gonna do is enter the illegal den. We'll check the ally. Maybe this could be worth it. 5 doom to double my funds. Number wise, it's good, but well, I don't see the army knife, so I will take Yoichi, I guess. That's the option select I'm doing there. If I don't find it, I can just grab another ally. I can also grab Kyoko on top of this. I don't have another thing, or I can just reroll. But we'll do this. So my doom is shooting up through the roof, but hopefully it pays itself off. So finally, we can grab the army knife if I sell a wooden bat. I'm probably going to sell both of them. Thankfully, they sell for funds, but the important part is getting the army knife for this character at least, or any other character with at least 9 perception when they start Harbinger. So, effectively 10. And a lot of characters normally don't have that. If you give me a character that does not use firearms and they have high perception, the bottom line is that I'm going to likely use the army knife. That's something I've thought. I swear I thought about it when I was making this character, but I can't remember for certain because it's been a while. That, and I've been outlining other characters that I could, you know, make for World of Horror, or use for World of Horror. Let's be a bit more accurate with my words. And then, yeah, like I said, the stat spread isn't that terrible everywhere else. 4 strength, 5 dexterity, 5 knowledge, 3 charisma on Harbinger. Some of these might be fluctuated by level ups, but you get the point. That none of them are particularly that, you know, low, aside from charisma. And this character should have more charisma, but I'm going with kind of a fan fiction approach here. In my opinion, I think this character has a good amount of charisma, you know, character trait speaking, but nice 12 roll on perception, by the way. The one time I have high perception, and that happens. Also, did I not visit the forest twice? I might have to eat this in the face. So this increases my doom. I get funds for it, but my doom increases by 5 and I lose 3 reason, which probably puts me better off than if I had actually fought this boss. So, and I didn't rest at all, so I get the tireless bonus. Again, general knowledge is still going to help you even for most custom characters. However, there are characters with just a stat spread or stat total that's so low that it's really hard, especially on Zektas. Mainly Zektas, let's be serious. So again, I don't know if I'm going to fix this problem in real life in a timely manner. So just know, I mean, it's happened before. For those who've been with this channel, there have been videos with that. I could also record in a different location, but do I want a Blood Frenzy, by the way? No, I don't. Because unless I can 2-turn this boss, it's not worth it. So 3 stamina, but that's better than an extra point of all per turn. Or any other enemy, but I'm really looking at the boss of this mystery. Now, I do need to rest. Do I get to rest for anything? I do, thankfully. I want to rest now because we're on Kadak, but I don't know if that's the proper choice. Yeah, that last run was definitely winnable. I just threw it away. So I think I get to, yeah, 97, 97. So I have about a 94-ish% chance of missing. 22 damage in a turn, a high chance at that is pretty good in my opinion. Again, if you give me a character with high perception that does not work with firearms, usually because they don't have firearm perks, so they can't ramp up to anything, I'm probably going to just pick up the army knife instead. It's really hard to find a reason not to use the army knife when it is essentially a monkey wrench with that I think costs an extra point of funds. And even if that's the which one do I don't remember which one does which, but yeah, even if the thingy-majiggy, I need to rest one more time, by the way. I feel like I need to rest one more time. Even if the monkey wrench costs 1 extra fund and costs 5 funds in a future update, in the update, I think that's coming this month, or slotted to come this month, because I think March, right? So I assume maybe mid-March, maybe earlier, like the 10th. If I had to give an exact, or if I had to bet on an exact number, I would say the 10th. But maybe later in the month seems a bit more, considering that the developer is working under the circumstances they're working in. I would give them in late March, not the end of March, late March. So again, around the range of March 16th to March 25th. But again, what happens happens. So here I should just not take a risk. But either way, I'm getting out next turn. So I could have gone for a gamble there and attacked twice. 60% accuracy is pretty good, but on a 3-all encounter, and if I happen to miss and go down to 1 stamina, I don't think that's very good. So we do have the second floor again. I've tested this character out extensively enough, but have yet to finish the rest. I think the thing... Let me know if there's anything else to critique. I know I'm working on the hands. Hands is not my strongest point, and I would be like, well... Do we call it tracing if you're looking at a reference and pretty much drawing from observation? That's what I'm really saying. Because there are some characters where I've had to, I've had to go closer and actually, put them on my screen and then kind of just... It's literally 1-to-1. So I obviously have taken... Well, it's not obvious, but I have looked at guides in drawing. I am not an artist, or I've not done a lot of things that would grant me experience in making artwork. Let's just say that much. Also, keeping in mind I do have Kyoko, so I effectively actually at 66% Doom. My throat is going crazy, I'm not going to mute that. Also, I did not let go of Ryoichi, did I? So, whoops. Well, maybe Yoichi will be a source of damage. Definitely could have used it earlier. Having a dog will help out too, but I think you can also send the dog. But just a little bit of stress from real-life circumstances. It's not just the thing that you're hearing, it's other things as well. So, I'm kind of dating this video, but... What happens. I can only do what I can with the resources I'm given. And if my resources are not, there, then like you maybe watching real life, I'll do what I can with what I've got. So we're just gonna probably desperate prep strong as I continue to test this character. And when I say test, I mean at least work out the gameplay aspects. I could do that without any graphics. That's what I have been doing. In fact, I think I have a stream demonstrating that. But obviously, graphics do make a good part of the character. I've talked about it before, as we kind of go on this tangent for a moment, where a game should have fun gameplay. A game should be a game. Hey, surprise, surprise, by definition. But at the same time, graphics are also part of a game. So when your graphics are not there, then they're not there. Now, to each their own. Some people don't. Some people think stick people are not the best. I say that specifically because, well, should I do this? Hold on. I don't think I can do anything better, right? It's not like, it's not like I can save extra Doom. Do I just want to run then? No, because I get 6 Doom anyway. So 6 Doom and a hood, or 5 Doom and nothing. So that's the calculations I'm usually working with here. But basically, a game is a game, and my threshold for that is a lot better. even though, and I've said this before, some people think the graphics of, let's just say it outright, Undertale is, you know, bad, but hey, it's a good game because it's a good game and it has good storytelling and whatnot. I would argue against that point because it's like you understand that pixel art. This is the comparison I use as well, or art that revolves around the use and placement of pixels, which kind of gets into my point. Every pixel, you can consider every pixel a brushstroke, and even if you're working with, say, a 32 by 32, or even if you're working with, let's just say, what is it, 16 times 16, 256 pixels. So if one of those pixels is off, that means there's a bigger chance to make mistakes. Do you get what I mean? So if one of those 256 pixels is off, even if let's be generous and say 25% of those pixels are background, then yeah, if one of those 200 pixels are off, it's not gonna look good. But when all 200 pixels are in the right spot, you know, they don't all have to be, but it turns out that, you know, it is a form of art that I think is a very respectable source. So, a respectable source, I don't know what I'm saying. I'm trying to say, you get what I'm saying though, right? Like, pixel art, I think is, I mean, if it weren't as important, let's just, you know, speak theoretically for a moment, then there wouldn't be, at least there wouldn't be as many people putting that as experience as a pixel artist. Now, obviously, when you look at someone who does pixel art, you can tell if, you know, what their range of experience might be, what genres they like to make for their pixel art, things in that sort. So that's why to rewind it a bit, I don't really consider myself a pixel artist. That's not my forte. I actually need to pass this, and that's unfortunate. I also forgot to put this on because I was speaking of something I think I feel pretty passionate about. That's the positive version. The negative version is something I feel heated about, but hey. Tell me I have a good chance of hitting this guy. Well, 95 into 95, or 95 into 85, sorry. Why am I that slow? Do I have a nicotine withdrawal? I feel like I do. I do not. I'm going crazy. I was thinking of a previous run. If I die here, so be it. But yeah, it is a heck of a thing to look at someone who looks at, and again, you have to understand it well. If we were to reverse the chessboard and or say play devil's advocate, even though I don't really think there's a say there, we'll send an ally instead. Really, that makes me lose the thing. Anywho, was that kill? Does that actually result? Oh no. Oh, that's dog. That's right. I'm going crazy. Oh, why would you give me time skip here? Yeah, I forgot what I was talking about. Anyway, I've talked about what I wanted to talk about. If you want to hear me talk about any of these subjects I talk about in this video more, then let me know. But we have charisma, so it seems like we're going to die here no matter what. I can't let go of Kyoko. We don't have Takshisan. We're not fighting Takshisan here. But I don't think it's going to matter. Unless no, I don't think it's going to matter. I'm not going to heal enough reason. And we have 6 Doom to go over. So it seems like we're going to die. And we have the 6th floor. We do have Mend, but I don't pass enough either. If I had put another point in Dexterity and concentrated more in this run, obviously, I would survive. But I don't think I do. Because I need to rest 4 times. Just out of stamina and reason. And I can't survive. So need to remember, though, that not having enough charisma is 2 reasons, not 3 reasons. The light check is 3 reasons. So let's just... No, I'm probably not even going to be able to see. I think I did scissors into bulletin, right? Yeah, I did. So our Doom hits 100% here, but hey. Oh, I don't even get to find out. But as we get through that run, and I think this character's in a pretty good place. It's just the graphics are not there. And as a whole... I talked about games and graphics, so this character and graphics, having actual graphics for a custom character, turns out can increase the enjoyment of using a custom character. But without further ado, please subscribe to the channel if you want to support me at any length, and I'll see you later. Thank you for watching. Bye!